Okay. Timin Yud. Hilchas Tefillin. Ubai Chava Seifim. 21 Seifim. Yeah. So mitzvah tefillin, he gamkein mitzvah yikaramoid. Mitzvah tefillin is also a very chashuv mitzvah. That's interesting lashon right there. Meaning it's also a mitzvah yikara.
Meaning in addition to tzitzis?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately, for whatever reason, tzitzis, people are not as, people look tefillin, but tzitzis, right? But no, it's an addition. What do you mean? It's gamkein. Not, but it says it's a mitzvah yikara ma'od also, which means that tzitzis is right. That means tzitzis is yikara ma'od. That's a different kasha, but he's saying that it's. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's a good kasha. Right? Shekala Torah kula shekala Torah hukshul tefillin. The whole Torah is hukush tefillin. Shenemar lemantia Torah Hashem b'tefillas. Michayna maniach tefillin harehu bechlal paishe yisrael begufa. If you don't put on tefillin, you're a paishe yisrael begufa. Misha maniach tefillin psulim. And somebody who puts on tefillin at a apostle, loyal v'at sheina mekayim the mitzvah. Not only you're not mekayim the mitzvah, ela shemevarech kama v'kama brachos levatala through oven gadol. You're going to be making many brachos levatala. So it's a big aveira. Meaning every day you make 2 brachos on your tefillin. If you're tefillin apostle, you have a big problem. L'chein yudaktik litnos tefillin b'sayfer mumcha v'yirashamayim. If you're medaktik to be kind of tefillin from a sayfer mumcha in Yerushalayim, if saying ritzuas yifnem ish neman, and the ritzuas they should be kind of from an ish neman shu batuach shenes avdu l'shma me'oris tzairus. And the ritzuas, the straps, you should also make sure you get it from somebody who's erlich, and he's taking it from kosher animals. But I say no, Rabba hamakshelu v'mashikoyin tefillin or ritzuas imadu the feature micron bizol v'heim psul. This is mamish going on nowadays. This is right. They have this whole issue with people. The tefillin is a disaster. And people are buying it because they want to get it from cheap. Yeah, nobody knows anything. You know, this is a big issue. The Rabbanim were trying to work on this a couple of years ago. And every year Shemaim should put in his heart, Imam Ramusha, the Caleb, it on his malbush and his clothing, right? Everybody looks to make sure their clothing is proper. Same thing with Cheftei Hashem. Don't be cheap. And be worried about if money you should be to be kind of them, that they should be even if the price is very high. And you want to make sure that everything is fixed and it should be black, etc. You should always constantly smear the ritzuas with fats that make it black. Don't use this pishron because it comes from treif fish. When it's calculated tefillin, and if the tefillin become broken even slightly, I should or well, you don't want to have anything not kosher in your tefillin. No, just the oil to make it. You should not use it. Baker, I think Baker didn't push come to shove. It's okay. Yeah, I mean on the chomer the Iker din. Right, fine. Even the skalpel it's filling a filo. Even the skalpel it's filling a filo rock mixes. I should go tefillas if it became a little bit destroyed. Or the straps, the tefillas, the stitches came out. Yasam yad shelas chacham in him ksherim. Ask shelas chacham with the kosher. But yosi yesh adaktik ala kronos, and you should be medak on a kronos b'prat b'shal roish and b'prat on the head. Shehu shchiach ma'ochen shemish tachakos v'nasu sham nekovim v'nifsu. And the tefillin shal roish, they get worn out easily and they become whole. It makes holes in it and becomes puffer. It's very common that when the tefillin get old, then the leather on the shorosh starts spreading, right? But you have to be very careful. Anybody who's careful not to speak in divrei havolim, sikafulim marach yom. He'll have long years. And muftach shu ben olam haba. Shenema Hashem aleim shenotzen aleim Shem Hashem tefillin yuki. V'chol behem chai luki. Zachrimeni v'tieni. Fine. Tefillin hu lashon plila v'hoichacha. Tefillin with the tefillin hu lashon come. It's plila and hoichacha. L'chein halam b'digusha l'malis chesron hashniya. That's tiktuk. Yeah, tefillin ein edus v'hoichacha she'ashchina shayra aleim. Tefillin is eidos that the Shekhinah is on our heads. That's why it's tefillin sharash had a shin on it. That's why you should not cover your tefillin sharash completely with the talis, because you want to have that shin from the shakai that represents, I don't know if it represents, but that's how we have the Shina above us. Okay, it's the time of the putting on the tefillin in the morning. When you see a friend of yours a little distance away, 4 amas away, and then you can recognize it. And after you put on the talis, if it's a tefillin, you put on the tefillin. And this that you put on the tzitzis for the tefillin, which on the mitzvah tzitzis to dira yosef, tzitzis is more common. If you wear it every day of the year, mitzvah tefillin ain't an eges ela b'chol. The kaimelon told him shena tadir kaidem. That's why tzitzis goes first, because it's worn every day. Tefillin is not. But let's say you first took out your tefillin from the bag. Right? So then, even if they're in their bag, so you have to put on your tefillin first, then the talis. We don't pass over mitzvahs. When you learn out from matzahs, just like matzah, you can't be lazy with it, and you put it. Whatever, you take care of it really quick. We'll make a drasha that it means for mitzvahs too. Right? So the thing is like this. Let's say you're going to put on your talis. Some people put on their talis like a half hour before the davening. They put on the talis. Why they do it, I don't know, but they do it. They don't plan on putting on the tefillin for another half hour. Then if by mistake they pull out the tefillin, do they have to put on the tefillin? No, because they weren't planning on doing tefillin now. Meaning, when you have 2 mitzvahs and you're going to do them both at the same time, right? So then you have to do it the tadir. If you don't plan on doing it now, then you don't have to. Right? Fine. And this is why you put your tefillin bag into the talis bag before the talis. Right? So that you reach for the tzitzis before you reach for the tefillin. Fine. Kimbal ksiv b'hayaloi sayotva. It says you should put it for us. Right. Right. I don't know. You're getting an extra mitzvah. Maybe that's a riot to Rav Scheinberg. We should wear a lot of pairs of tefillin, tzitzis. I don't know. Okay, ksiv hayeloi sayotcha. Parashas vayikiviyacham. Ksiv yodcha behei. Dasher abasen as a pun racha. Dahainu yad keya. Means with your weak hand. Do small. It's referring to your left hand. Shehi tasha v'keha. Right? Because it's weak and faint. So mainly you put on the tefillin on your left hand. Yanicha sham, and you put it on the shel yad. You put it where the basar is a little bit high. Put it on your heart. It should be next to your heart. You should put it there and put it a little bit towards the body. That when you put your arm down to your keneged liba, meaning so you put your tefillin on right here, right, a little up. That means that when you put your hand, when you face your hand down, so then the tefillin moves, and then the tefillin's mamish right next to your heart. So, right, this is a famous thing when it says by tefillin shorosh beinei necha, kibul representatives of Chachamim Rafa, she'ein zois beinei necha. Mamish, that's not mamish beinei necha. Ela keneged beinei necha. It's opposite between your eyes, meaning on the forehead, where between your eyes. And the makom is where the hair begins to grow. And then it goes up outside makom shemakom shpina greifes until the end of the place where the what do you call it? The babies, the soft spot. There's a name for it. Yeah, that's where you're supposed to put the tefillin. Right? The titura, meaning the front. That's the front part of the tefillin. Shalamata of the bottom, meaning the base. We're learning in the Daf Yomi about the base of the mizbeach that it stuck out. So the titura is the part that sticks out. It shouldn't be any lower than the where the hair starts growing. You could say hamabarta shalamala, and the upper what? It goes right. If you're bald, then it goes right where the hair is supposed to be, right? And you have the mabarta. The mabarta is the part where from the word avar. That's where the strap goes through. That's higher. That shouldn't be any higher than where the baby's head beats. And you have to be very careful that it's replaced in the proper place. And if you place even some of it on the forehead where the hair does not grow, and even if you put all of it where the hair is, and it's on the side, meaning the tefillin is off to the side, then you didn't do the mitzvah, you made a bracha of atalas. Now that's the front. And the knot should be behind him, behind his head, the malab above the goiva oirif, and the top of the neck, that's the end of the skull where the hair grows. Shu keneged upon him, that's opposite the face. And also, the knot should not move this way or that way. It has to be tight in his head. When the abayis and the mavarta are very wide, then it's very difficult to tighten it. Right? You have to be very careful with this. Somebody told me a story today with Moshe Feinstein. This is going back in the beginning of the Sif that talks about that you're supposed to put the tefillin on your weak hand. That it was somebody, a Chashav Rav Borough Park's son was just nifter a couple of weeks ago, and this son had the machla when he was younger, and he had a leg. I think he had a leg amputated. That's the way the way I heard. And he also was a shtickle ambidextrous, like lefty and righty. He didn't know which. So they went to Rav Moshe Feinstein to ask him. And Rav Moshe says, first Rav Moshe saw him without a leg, and he just started crying. And he cried through the whole mincha. They had to move the kid away from Rav Moshe's sight so that he could finish Manasseh. That's the first thing he said. Then they asked Rav Moshe the shaila, and Rav Moshe says, I don't know. I don't know what to paskin here. And he said, come back to me in a while. So everybody's wondering, like, this is not the most complicated shaila, right? So then Rav Moshe sent a message a few weeks later that he should put it on the left hand like everybody else. So then they went to the father, and it was a learned fellow, went down to Rav Moshe to ask Rav Moshe what's the shot that he paskin that way. That was the classic psak. Put it on the standard hand that everybody else does. And what took him so long? So he said, I wanted to say like this. He said, the truth, he should have put it on the right hand, not like most people do. Whatever Rosh Hashanah was. But I saw that he's missing a leg. He already feels strange. And then when he goes to shul, he should feel strange again that he's putting on tefillin on the opposite hand of everybody else, right? And if most, okay, he should feel strange again. That he can't have. So I wasn't sure what to do until he thought about it. So the kid, the father was like, what are you saying? So he went to the kid and he asked the kid, if you had to put your tefillin on the right hand, would you feel strange? He says, of course I'd feel strange. Everybody puts a tefillin on the left hand. All right? That's not godless for Moshe Feinstein. I love that by all of us. Yes, we do. All right. That's round one.